Hey, everybody. Welcome into the building. It's Friday night, okay? Friday night, people. Listen, there was this song a long time ago. I forgot who sung this song, but I don't. Many of you may not know this song, but anyway, he used to sing "It's Friday night." Just got paid. All right. So all of you that got paid in this Friday night, I'm happy for y'all. Okay. Now listen, guys. This is Friday night trending topics, and we got some serious topics to talk about tonight. Listen. Anytime, come on now, rebels. I love you. Thanks for the connection. That's right. Okay. Listen, we're going to have this conversation. And I was like on the fence. I was like, do I talk about this? Don't I talk about this? What do I do? How do I do it? But I said, you know what? I think that people can handle that. So tonight on Trending Topics, we're talking about the pastor who recently, he found himself in a situation. Okay, come on now. You know I don't mind though, Juice Radio. How you doing? I'm glad to see you out there. Listen, let me tell you something. Always be grateful for another year on this life. I'm 53. To God be the glory. And I will always tell my age. And listen, guys, if I'm 69 up here still doing this YouTube thing, I'm going to let you know you're going to celebrate my 69th birthday with me. Okay. Now let's continue on. So this trending topics is dedicated to the pastor that unfortunately someone leaked the tape of them two, being very intimate. And he put out an apology. But I will tell you this, unfortunately, this is not an isolated situation. You have some people out there who are hiding who they truly are. I'll use those words right there. So I want to have this conversation with y'all tonight. We're going to talk about it, but I need y'all to be easy with the words in the chat. I need y'all to be non-judgmental. I need y'all to have a conversation about the situation and not the individual's lifestyle, all right? Because over here, what you do is what you do. Okay, we ain't judging you for your lifestyle, but we're going to talk about you being messy if you're being messy while in whatever it is that you do. Okay, I hope y'all understood that convoluted message that I just put out there. Okay, the public service announcement. Do not get crazy in the chat. If you do, I'm going to have to shut this live down. Okay, because we ain't going to go there. Then, come on now. Yes. We're gonna talk about it. Okay. We're gonna talk about it, y'all. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna learn how to use our words right. Then we're gonna say, I hope we have time, because we gotta talk about Robin Roberts. Okay. And now I'm gonna go to Houdini. Friends, how many of us have them? Okay. How many of us have the friends? Who's a true friend in these streets? Now, if you a fair weather friend, you only my friend when I'm up and everything's good, but the minute I'm accused of something, you drop me like a hot potato. You was never a friend. So Amy Robach over there from Good Morning America, okay, NBC, said that her and Robin Roberts were truly friends. And as soon as their little scandal broke out, Robin dropped her like a hot potato. Robin didn't stand up for her, didn't speak up to her, didn't try to go to the management and say, hey, that's my boo, she messed up. But can you put her back in the mailroom or something? Don't fire her or make her do the night news. No, Robin didn't say nothing. She said nothing. But Amy's mad now because Robin is about to have the wedding of the century. Who's who is going to be at this wedding? That she about to marry her wife, and everybody going to be at this wedding. Honey, everybody. Diddy, you name it. The people going to be at the wedding. It is the invitation of the year, and Amy and TJ Holmes, they ain't invited. Was Robin ever really Amy's friend? We're going to talk about it. But for right now, and let me say one more thing. Child, let me tell you something. Every night, after y'all hold me hostage on this live for 2 hours and change, I end the live, I go do inventory. And what happens when I do inventory? Y'all cheating me. Y'all dogging me out. No likes. The likes don't match the views.
They don't. And you know what? we might as well tell the people we get on our conference call, Diva, because you know I can check my stuff. You got to check your stuff. We got to do our daily routines, and the people gonna stop playing us out. Y'all gonna stop playing us out.
Working hard,
y'all. Auntie Diva love y'all. Okay.
Yes.
Her baby, he's out the nest, so she need us to hit that like button.
The like button.
She needs us to subscribe to the channel. She needs us to share her videos.
Come on now.
Auntie is going up, 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 and away. Period.
Up, 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 and away. Come on now.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Okay. Hit the like button. That's your ticket. Yeah,
hey,
I got some fair weather friends. Okay. All right. Listen. Now listen, guys. I love y'all. It's Friday night. We about to talk.
Diva.
Okay. Got my little tea. Yes, that's
Okay.
Can I make an announcement?
Of course you can.
Ruby Frankie with the court today, and she's not getting out of. She's being held in jail till the next court date, which be September 21st.
Mm-hmm.
They're not letting her bail out. But she's gonna be held there till she goes to court next time, which be September 21st.
All right, well, she deserved to stay locked up because now it's a whole lot of accusations going on with that whole situation.
I agree with that, David.
Yeah, it's a mess. I'm not.
Who's in court?
Ruby Frankie.
Ruby Frankie, ex-YouTuber, had 8 something. It was like a family of 8. I don't know. It was a mess.
8
passengers.
Okay, hold on, guys. Trent, you can email me there. Email me, Trent. I gotta hear from you. Trent, you messy. You so messy. We need to discuss a cop who tastes.
Oh what?
My God.
Wait a minute. What?
Okay. So yeah, email me, Trent. Yeah. Thank you, Roya. All right. So let's get into this first story because we got a lot to talk about and we got some videos to watch. Okay. This pastor, you know, he's a man of God. A lot of Christian-based religions, they preach against homosexuality. I did not go through all of his sermons, okay? But I will say this. He was caught with a man. The man that was with him videotaped them. And so there's so many things to talk about, and I'm going to tell you why. I do not like the fact that this man videotaped it and put it out there because you're putting me out there in my most intimate moments for the world to see. You're messy. So we got to deal with that. We got to deal with the fact that you're going to put out, and I think there should be a higher repercussions for people who put out a sex. You take me, I don't know. I don't care if I knew or did not know. I did not authorize you to put me out there on the internet for the world to see. Now the world's seeing me getting down, doing my business. Okay. We got that issue going on, right? Which I think is messed up. So then you got the issue of he's a pastor. It's a mess. We're going to talk about it, people. So let me go ahead and share screen. And let's see, because I got so many things here. I got to see which one I have where okay. Is this it? Did I make a mistake in?
Well, take your time. No rush. Y'all hit the like button on this video. If you have not subscribed, make sure you are a subscriber. Diva releases videos every day. One at 8 o'clock. Run between, 10 and 12. Another one around 3 and 4. And then our nightly recap. So y'all make sure you're sharing and letting the people know.
All right. Thank you, Rory. I love you. Okay, here it is, guys. Let's hear the pastor words.
And as simple as this. I messed up. This has been a really, really hard few days, but I struggled. And the struggle didn't just begin. Struggle has been a struggle. And the conviction has been great. Many times people don't know how to accept the struggle of a leader or the struggle of the pastor. And they take the human and the man out of the pastor, out of the bishop, out of the apostle, out of the prophet. I didn't address what should have been addressed in my life, and you all seen it. I don't have to recap it. You know, you seen the video, you know, but other people will paint a picture of you to be the worst person in the world because of a failure. I want to take my responsibility. That's my public statement. I want to take my responsibility and I want to repent before God. I want to take off my title and take off my hat and take off all the articulations of my duties. And I want to repent to the people who God has entrusted in my hands. And I want to repent to my leaders, my pastor, my bishop, first lady, all of the collegiate presbyters, board of presbyters, and those who have, you know, signatured my credentials and trusted me with the call. I want to repent to you. I want to apologize and take responsibility. And great measures, I was just wish and hope that this live would touch somebody else who struggles behind the cross, who struggles behind the title, who struggles. You know, you can be gifted and people will drive off your gift. You can, you know, you can make it happen. You can make it go over and people will drive off what goes over. You walk away with the gratitude and the satisfaction that you fulfilled your purpose in that service. You fulfilled your purpose in that that conference. You fulfilled your purpose, your call of duty in that particular thing. And you leave with your struggles. You fall into your divers of temptation and you get up with conviction and you don't know how to address, I need a change in my struggle. So I want to say to everybody to forgive me, to the world. I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to leave it here with much rebuke from my pastor, with much reproof from my pastor, and I know with much restoration from my pastor. I take it. I take ownership.
All right. So let me just go back up, give you a little bit more details. It's a lot because I've been reading about this story all day and it's so much. If I were to tell you every single detail, we'll be here till tomorrow, like at night, sometime, like literally. Okay. Only take responsibility because, right? Only taking responsibility because you got caught. Apostle Damien Massey, Twitter video controversy explained in the wake of a tearful Facebook video. Okay. So North Carolina pastor Damien Massey is getting blasted online after allegedly being caught for getting intimate with an ex-member of the church. Screenshots of the former texting inappropriate with each other with another man went viral across social media platforms. The leader apologized for his actions, but people are attacking him relentlessly online. And somebody wrote, "You are only taking responsibility because you got caught, sir. Sick of y'all all. Put these phones up when y'all are sexing. Lock them in a portable safe or something," they said, like, protect yourself, okay? According to the Black Preacher Network, Damien Massey is a senior pastor at the Divine Glory Kingdom Temple International Ministries. Recently, the North Carolina told that Brian Johnson II, a former member of the Remnant Church Outreach Ministry, got intimate with Damien. Text messages between the two showed that the two planned to engage in sexual intercourse. However, when and where it took place remains unknown. Johnson alleged that Massey is married to Roderick Jones. However, the North Carolina Beat was unable to find an official marriage license of the two. He also claimed that he was in a friends with benefits relationship with the pastor. Text messages show the pastor telling Johnson, "I'll be there in like 20 minutes. Make sure that bud is ready and that everything else is ready." I ain't gonna read what it is, okay? Then they show the little text messages there, saying he's horny, he's on his way. I'm gonna get there. I'll take a shower when I finish. Yada yada who, right? It seems like a financial exchange took place between the two as well. Screenshots show that Johnson has sent Massey $2,800 on Cash App, while Massey has sent Johnson $107. The reason behind the money transfer remained unknown. Okay, screenshots of Snapchat messages show that Johnson had gotten in touch with Jones. The two discussed openly the former and Massey were having sexual relations. Johnson also admitted to feeling like an outcast at church. Okay, that's a good clue right there as to maybe why he leaked this stuff, despite Massey getting intimate with him. Jones also told Johnson that Massey was like to be hurt because Johnson stopped engaging with him without explanation. Okay, Pastor Damien Massey responds to the viral text messages leaked. The North Carolina Beat reached out to Pastor Damien Massey, and the latter claimed that the screenshots going viral are fake and was doctored by Johnson. Okay, that was until the video actually came out. Later, he addressed the scandal in video messages where he took accountability for his actions, and we all see, I'm not going to read what he said because it's the same thing that the video said. He also claimed that, perhaps he's going to give up his title as the pastor and, everything else. It went on and on and on and on and on and on. It's just a whole hot mess. It's a whole hot mess. Okay. I do want to introduce, but I don't want y'all to mix up the stories, right? So I'm going to let 3 people go, and then I will introduce another story, because unfortunately, this is not an isolated situation, probably, period, but it's definitely not an isolated situation within the church, right? So people kind of hiding behind the pulpit, knowing that you really want to do XYZ, but you hiding behind the pulpit, you're getting married, and then that night you're sneaking out doing your ministry with. Go ahead, Royer.
Can I derail the train first, please?
No, because it's Royer. You cannot.
Listen.
Go ahead, Royer.
Listen, Linda, listen, okay. First of all, I totally agree with you when you said that there should be repercussions and consequences for people that release videos of others without consent. Yes. I think that is completely just inappropriate, whether it's sexual, whether it's a conversation, whatever it is. Without anyone else's consent, nothing should be released over the internet, text message, or anything else. And if it is, there should be legal consequences to that. I do feel that way. But you're not going to sit up here and tell me that you was laying up in this bed with this little man and you didn't see the little lights flashing across the room. You didn't see the camera glycerinating wherever it was glycerinating at. Sir, how dumb? How stupid are you? Now, if you're going to be doing dirt, make sure you're covering your tracks. Don't be leaving the footprints on the way to the house. You send the text messages using regular phones and doing all this extra stuff and not excusing him for doing what he do. Because in my opinion, everybody got a right to do, what they do with who they do it with. Okay. And a lot of these, if he was married, a lot of these people out here in these marriages do not want to be together. Most of these people have kids. They have combined everything else. And so it's cheaper to keep him and her. So they have their little situations and they set it up and they do what they do. But the fact that you thought it was going to be okay for you to sleep with someone at the church, your own church, and think it wasn't going to get out, sir, where is the sense? Where is the common sense? And I don't condone doing inappropriate things as a married individual or whatever, but I can't control what other people doing either. You was messy, you was wrong, and you got caught up. My other issue is when I watched this video, he said that, he would like to ask for forgiveness from his pastor. Skirt. Last I checked, your pastor didn't get on the cross and die for your sins. So it sounds like your life and your situation is all out of whack and out of order in the first place anyways. That's the problem with a lot of these religious people. People get religion, but they don't get saved and get to know Jesus.
Okay.
So you was in the religion with all your little titles, apostle and pastor and bishop and all this other stuff. When we get to them good glory gates, he ain't gonna be caring about all of that, what your title is. He don't care that I'm Prince Royaire's world. He gonna look at me and look at the Lamb's Book of Life and determine whether or not I made it in. And y'all know I'm gonna make it in. But I think it's truly shameful that, in my opinion, he does not recognize who he owes the true, apology to, and who he should truly be looking to for forgiveness and for help if he chooses that he wants help out of this situation. My personal opinion, we all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. So if I'm going to hell for being gay, you going to hell for lying, stealing, cheating, and everything else. So ain't nobody gonna make it in, and that's the case.
Well, you better talk. All right. In my opinion, what are your thoughts?
Well, my. Okay, let me tell you something. First of all, I'm gonna try to be real easy with you, Diva, because you made your announcement. Okay, so let me first say, I wasn't buying no crocodile tears. That fake huffing and puffing that he was doing. I keep remembering my grandma and them used to say, only a few are called. And he wasn't a few. Okay. And this man is hiding in his own closet. And I'm gonna need him to make up his mind. And then when he make up his mind, then he needs to have a talk with Jesus, okay, and tell him all about his problems. We don't need to hear about it. I don't know why people feel like they have the urge to come purge themselves on social media. Like we need to hear their problems. Sir, we got our own problems. Jesus is the one you need to be praying to. Jesus is the only one that can save you. What you're trying to do right now is save your job. And if that's all you looking at it as is a job, then you won the few that was called in the first place.
Okay. All right. Now I hear you. Leo, right after you, I'm going to add some more information to this conversation, but you want me to add it now? Or you want me to add it later?
Add it later, because I don't want to get confused.
Let me ask you something else.
Okay. Go ahead. In my opinion, go ahead.
How did the text messages get leaked?
Well, you know what? That messy person leaked it. And that's the part, regardless of what this man is doing, and I'm not saying he's right, sneaking around like this and, telling the lies or whatever the case may be. But I also think it's messy, the person that leaked the text, right? And that's why I'm very careful. And listen, you never know until you know when it comes to dating, period. Whether you're doing heterosexual dating, whatever type of dating, you got to protect yourself. And remember that Mariah Carey song?
So he can't do the revenge corn?
Right. Yeah, let's be easy with the words. But yeah. So no, I'm talking about the Mariah Carey song where she said, I'm gonna hunt you down like a Wendy Williams interview or something like that. Like, don't you be in here taping me? Don't you do none of that?
Obsessed.
Come on now. Why
are you so obsessed with me? I really want to know.
Yeah. Let me tell you right now. If I catch a tape of me, it's gonna be a whole lot of problems. I'm going to be relentless. If I got to go all the way to the Supreme Court with that thing, I'm going to be relentless on you. I'm not playing. That's why I don't
got your back, Diva, okay? All you got to do is call me.
I'm going to call you because you know what? See, in this new age, it's not our generation, in my opinion, Leo, Felicia, they be asking you to send text pictures of yourself. No. I don't even talk to nobody like that no more. No, I'm not sending you no picture of nothing. No, you can't. I don't even got iPhone, but no, you can't FaceTime me while I'm doing nothing. Right. You will not have a picture, nothing. No, I'm not doing no talking like that with you via text messages. No, I do not engage. I promise you right now, my business better not be in the streets.
Because Diva hold a grudge like Candy, okay? And she don't let go.
Oh, God. Not Candy.
He's so messy. He's just being messy. Leo, what are your thoughts? I'm going to hunt you down.
Now, to my understanding, I'm just going to interject some information that I have about this story. Our renter said on TGIF that this man was single. Yes, he has been married. He has children. He do have grandchildren, but he's no longer in that relationship.
That is
he
correct.
has been he has been open in his church for different relationships. Trans people are welcome. Trans people have positions in his church. Okay. So he is not the type of according to our because I don't know. He is not the type of person that shun people for their lifestyle. He did not do that from the pulpit, and he did not do the shunning of people who are in same-sex relationships or marriages. He did not do that. They was all welcomed in his church. However, I feel like because he was not open about who he was is his crime. And I also feel like that is the whole sin of society, because when you force people in a box and then they go and hide their true self, that is how come we get into these situations that he finds himself in. I would prefer for people to be true to who they are. Say who you are. Yes. Be who you are. And be upfront about being who you are. That's what I would prefer. And I would hope a pastor who is leading a church that has other people with different lifestyles in his congregation, he would support that by being that himself. He has set himself up to be railroaded, to be bribed, to be blackmailed, to have extortion set upon him, because he was paying this fool money, like lots of money. He should never, ever, ever, because see, when people hiding who they are, they take in degenerates to satisfy their own needs. And I feel like this person who set about putting his information on the internet was a person he felt like was beneath him, even though he was in his church. And this is his payback. This is his payback.
You said a lot. It's a lot of different details to the story, but I did hear also that at the time he's not married. He had a wife, he had children, he had grandchildren, but it wasn't a current situation. But we're going to take one pause. I'm coming to you, E, but I want to introduce, this is another.
I have a question, Diva. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So are you going to do the next story and then you're going to bring us to the next story, or we can comment on?
No, y'all going to be able to comment on whatever you see. Don't worry. You can still comment on whatever you see. I just want to add this in because all the stories blend. I'm just saying that these situations, unfortunately, they're not unusual outside the church, but they're not unusual inside the church either. Now, this particular story I'm going to bring up, this gentleman, now he was married, still living with his wife and had kids, and he was sneaking out at night doing what he had to do. But see, I think you take it to a whole nother sinister level when you feel like you got to unlive the person. It's messy. Now, this particular story, because I don't want to go through the whole background, but the pastor, married, would go out at night and go to an area that was known for prostitutes, had a lot of transgender females in that particular area, and he was sleeping with them. He fought this one over money, and then he unalived her over this dispute. And when he got out of jail, he was sentenced, just to give you an update, he was sentenced to, I believe, 10 years. But during COVID, you know how they was letting a lot of people out of prison? He got out and the wife was still with him. So sometimes I'm thinking a lot of these females, when it goes public, they want to act like they didn't know. But I feel like a lot of them know.
But like I told you, Diva, they really don't like each other like that, but it's cheaper to keep them.
Ciao. Okay, let's listen to this story.
Williams lost her child to murder in December of 2018. Now, 4.5 years later, Pastor Albert Weathers of Sterling Heights has pleaded guilty to killing 36-year-old Kelly Stough, a transgender woman leaving her body in the street near McNichols and Brush in Detroit, an area known for prostitution.
Did you say a prayer with her before you left her out in the street like trash? Did you just at least hold her hand and tell her you're sorry?
Kelly's family wants the world to know she wasn't some castaway. She was very much loved.
It has been heart-wrenching. Yeah, Kelly was my first grandchild. And we had a bond, a serious, tight bond.
I don't want her to be what society may have a picture of trans women of color. They're not throwaways. They're not people who people have forgotten. They all have a backstory, and I think that's something that needs to be realized. She was cared for. She was loved.
Born Tristan Stough, he was raised in the church, grew to be 6'4", got a scholarship and played college football, but left after a couple of years instead, wanting a career in fashion.
I personally told her to be the best version of herself that she could be, own it, just live your life and be happy.
In school in Chicago, Tristan studied fashion and found a community of authenticity and eventually told her family she was transgender. People called her Kelly.
I was glad for her. I was proud of her to own who she was and to be her true self.
Why the pastor shot Kelly Stough in the early morning hours of December 7th, 2018, we may never know. But Kelly's family hopes Pastor Albert Weathers tries to make things right. He's facing 8 years in prison for second-degree murder and 2 years for felony firearm.
How tortured are you to lead such a duplicitous life? And to the point that you were willing to cover up what you did by taking this life. How dare you?
Clearly, he's attracted to that population.
So own it. Own it. And maybe change your life.
Kelly's family grateful to the Wayne County prosecutor and Wayne County victim advocate for the transgender community, Julissa Abad, for sticking with the case that was finally about to go to trial on Monday.
I am glad that there was a conviction. Justice was finally served. You just don't know the lives that people live. And it goes again to the social stigma that my community experiences, particularly trans women of color.
Women like Kelly Stough, whose lives matter.
My sister never wavered in her commitment to her child as a person first. And that's what I would encourage families to do. Look beyond the social stigmas.
Stick by your kids. Stand with them. You have them. They're yours. And support them.
In Detroit, Amy Lang, Fox 2 News.
What I loved about the mom, she said, stick by your children. You had them, love them, they're yours. This pastor, a whole hot mess. Your pastor with a wife, with children. You going out there at night doing what you want to do. But a pastor that's unaliving somebody, this man left her there and then went to work because he was a pastor that also had a job. Then he went to work. And then as he was at work, he called the cops. E, you're up.
So first thing first, the first story. This man repeated over and over that he is repenting to the people and his church leaders. Forget the people and the church leaders. Like Briere said, you repent to God. So when I kept hearing that over and over, I was just thinking he's out of order. He's out of order because he's more worried about the congregation and their opinions and these quote unquote church leaders. He's out of order. He should not be in any position of leadership. That's first and foremost. Secondly, that repentance that he's talking about, that he is pleading with us to believe and convince us of, that's something you do behind closed doors. That's not any of our business. That's between you and God. That's something you have to live with. So to me, that part could have been left off. if this was meant to be a conversation about taking accountability, because really that's the way that he tried to frame it, but he tried to put his spiritual sprinkles on top. The missing component to this apologies were the confession regarding being dishonest, regarding his personal endeavors, if he felt he owed that much. Because really, if he was going to Olivia Pulpit, he was supposed to come to her as the victim and the damsel in distress, because he doesn't owe any of us anything more than that. I hear Leo when she said the pastor didn't shun people, but the slippery slope for me is the exchange of funds, the timeline of this relationship, and the location of the events, because now the pastor needs to address this and he needs to tell it, because it's all into question and the church's reputation is on the line. That's the slippery slope for me. I disagree with the notion that this man has to be honest about his lifestyle if he is single. As you said, Diva, I heard you say that he was single. He wasn't married. He had children, but that's beside the point. If he isn't committed to anybody, I'm confused about using this down low title. Because when you say that someone is down low, you're implying that they're in a relationship with two different people who don't know about each other. And typically they only use that terminology with people who are being duplicitous between two different genders, right?
That is correct. That is correct.
If he's single and he's dating and having, I don't have a problem with that. It's no different than anybody else. That's your business. He doesn't owe the church a damn thing when it comes to that.
Let me say this, E. From what I read, he might have been accepting everybody in his church, but from what I read, he was not out like that. Everything I read, I have not read one article where it states that he was out in the church. I have not read one.
And no one said he was down low. That was never a word that was used in this conversation. Down low, those two words were never used.
I thought I heard that word earlier. That could have been something backstage. So
No, it might have been. It might have been in one of the articles, Z. But either way, I do hear what you're saying. It's a lot going on in this situation, and I think the reason why he's feeling like, one, he's apologizing to all the people that put him and help him get his position in the pulpit, is because he knows in the Christian church, and that's why I don't think he was out there like that. In the Christian church and the different churches that I saw that he was connected to, they wouldn't be so accepting of his lifestyle. I'll say that. And so that's why I think he was apologizing to all the people that put him in that particular position, all the churches that he perhaps came to and spoke, at, so forth and so on. And for a video to be out with him in that compromising position, and also, just in general in the church, right? They preach that what do they call it? Fornication. So even if you leave out his lifestyle for a minute, you're the pastor in the pulpit and you out there fornicating, having premarital sex. So it's so many dynamics in his situation. So I do get where all of his apologies came from, because the church is a lot of political stuff that goes on too, right? It's like, how you going to stand there and tell the people to get their life together and you out in the streets being a whole hot mess? And we got text messages, you got a video, and you got messages where there's large sums of money being exchanged, and it all just doesn't look good. Go ahead, Ian, finish. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. I hear that, and my retort is this: these people, I'm gonna use Jamal Bryant. Jamal Bryant been humping and hunching on allegedly humping and hunching on everything and everybody. What is his name? Pastor Holy Whore. So, and New Birth ain't fired him yet. And so, for me, how do I say this? A lot of churches, some rules are good for the congregation, but the pastor is exempt. for some churches. And I
For
just
many, we could talk for many, and what is acceptable, we can have this conversation, right, and have it in a clean way. What is acceptable is they will accept all day long if the pastor is having a heterosexual relationship, cheats on the wife, and everybody's going to excuse it. The whole crowd will
Not
come up
just the
on that
pastor, but every
pulpit.
other man in
Not
church.
just the
Every other
first
man.
lady.
Y'all better talk. Y'all better talk.
The first cheating on the first lady with all the women sitting in the front row. Talk about it.
Come on, talk about it. And they will get up in that pulpit and help him excuse it and ask the whole congregation to give him grace. And then some of them will talk about how the woman he was involved with is Jezebel and a whore. Now, if we're going to talk, we could talk, right? But the minute there's a pastor that is in a same-sex relationship, they're ready to drop bombs, blow up everything. And that's the only way, well, one of the only ways a male will get kicked out of the church. But the females, we will get kicked out in 2.2 seconds. You Jezebel, you knew he was married. Child, go ahead. I'm sorry. Don't get me started now, but go ahead.
No, that's exactly my point, Diva. And don't be pregnant and don't have a ring on your finger, because the church will be all in your business.
They're gonna pass out. They're gonna pass out. And I will tell you this too. You're gonna have to go through hoops to get your little baby baptized. You better ask somebody, because I know all about it. But I'm just saying, but continue on. Continue on.
Exactly. And I'm going to breeze over this quickly because I know we're keeping it clean.
Right.
The reason why I want to stand firm on my position, but I'm flexible and I'm willing to hear all sides. But the reason why I'm going to stand firm on that is because there's so many people I know personally, so many Black people I know who, and you can see them on the Shade Room when they're talking about Saucy Santana or Zaya Wade, all of that stuff. They don't like it when there is an alternative lifestyle, quote unquote, being put on display. They say, why are they forcing this on everybody? This, that, and the third. So I feel like that's the double standard. Folks be quick to say they cannot stand when people put the lifestyle on display, yet when they keep it discreet and they are single and they ain't hurting nobody, people feel like they owed an apology and they should have been honest and they should have told everybody. No.
That's right, E. I see you, E. I see you.
We see. I see her too, Leo. I like that. I see you too, E. We see each other.
So that's why I feel he doesn't owe anybody anything. He really should have came out and played that with the Olivia Pope. I am a victim of this revenge, and please keep me in your thoughts and prayers. Lastly, you need to be careful with how you cut people off. As a pastor, it should be a requirement that you possess some level of emotional intelligence. You're supposed to possess empathy and a desire to offer some form of consolation and the personality trait to close chapters properly. The fact that this man sent him all this money and y'all been hunching all this time and you cut him off cold turkey, you should have expected some blowback. People will go to great lengths. People will go to great lengths to find out why you ghosted them and to get answers. Okay, that will haunt some people. In my view, the release of that tape was a consequence of the pastor failing to handle his private affairs with care. I'm not saying that is right, but when you break someone's heart or you scorn them and they've gotten used to you, people deserve more than that, especially after they leave you money on the nightstand or send you wire transfers. And about this last story, with the story with the trans person, it's no different than the stories we talk about any other time. That's the way I'm going to frame this, because I got to wrap it up quickly. This man was cheating. He was living a double lifestyle. Now, this is somebody who was down low and, as Denzel would say, trash. This person not paying the folks they rate and trying to eliminate the evidence by deleting the person completely. Just another black king, black Kangan. Nothing in this world is going to change until these men change. And as people who are attracted to men, we must hold these men accountable. Also, Diva, I agree with you about the mother and the grandmother. You can't just throw your children away. And this is something that I have had debates with, not only with my child's father, but also with men who I have dated. We've talked about that when we talk about children. You know, what if the child comes out this way? What if they are attracted to this? How will you feel? How will you react? And it's been some tough conversations, I will tell you. But one thing for me, that's across the board, and any man that I choose to entertain, because we don't know what child we're going to get. All we can do is nurture them and instill in them the qualities we think are going to be beneficial to the betterment of their life. However, who they lay with, how they decide to join, we don't have any control over that, because eventually when they turn 18, they have a right to leave us, or they can leave before, because some kids run away. So I commend this mother and grandmother, or
The
staying
whole
by
family.
the
Yeah.
whole family. And I'm glad that this person, Kelly, has a voice through the grandmother and the mother, and that this is not some unknown, or we can't find the family or figure out how to get the word out. I'm happy that these two women are bringing, and what's the word I'm looking for? I'm getting tongue tied. Bringing some, what's the word, Diva? Connect with me, bringing some attention to the story. I guess that's it.
Yes. Let me say this. First of all, just so everybody know, there's nothing we ever say where we mean every single person or every single church or whatever. So let's be clear. We're not that silly. We know it's not every single church, but I'm telling you, there's many, unfortunately, that when you are the pregnant, unwed mother, it is not a nice experience. You got to be strong to get through it. There's many men within the church. People are okay, if we talking real talk here, people are okay marrying the girl that perhaps had 5 to 6, I'll be nice to say removal of their babies. But then you got the person that had all 5 of their babies, and that person is looked at a certain way. We just talking truth here. I know people that got kicked out the choir. I know people that no longer was able to teach Sunday school because they got pregnant and they were not married. So there are a lot of stories. So what happens is right, because these rules, and I'm not saying they should change their rules. The Bible is the Bible. And if you preach in the Bible, preach the Bible. So I am not for 1 second saying they should change their rules. But I'm saying that it's almost some give no grace whatsoever. No grace whatsoever, that people feel like they got to hide because they love God and they want to worship God and they want to be in the church, but they know that they're doing this over here and that's not looked upon kindly. And if they were to tell their truth with inside that institution, they may not be able to be the usher, the choir member, or whatever the case may be. I know a lot of real live stories about things that happen in church. Born and raised in the church, been going on my life, and I love it. And I know that people are not perfect, and that's why I never leave the church, because I know that nobody's perfect, and I know mess is going to happen everywhere. And because I could stay in a messy job, I could definitely stay in a messy church, right? Depending upon how messy it is. But I've seen whole sermons be done on females that was with a married person within the church.
Yes.
And it's like, well, why you ain't talking about the male? Because it takes two to tangle. She a Jezebel, she this, she that, she the da. See, females get kicked out the whole church. And the man is still up in the choir singing. Because that person could sing, and they wanted that person to continue to touch the people with his voice and lead the choir. And they used to call it sit down in our churches, okay? And I'm going to say this, they sat him down for 2 weeks. You done did all these sermons about the chick being a Jezebel. He sits down for 2 weeks, and then he's back singing his songs. So come on now. I'm not going to go on, but it is what it is. That's just, people hide most of the time because the behavior they're hiding is society is unacceptable. That's all. My screen shifted a little bit. Sebastian, I'm gonna come to you.
Okay. Okay. We're gonna do this. The pastor, in my opinion, there was a crime committed in the exposure of this video. There was a crime committed. He needs to sue that. Well, no, he needs to bring charges against that person. Not sued, brings charges, because that is a crime to expose people's body parts. You don't do stuff like that. I believe this though. I don't think this guy was DL. I don't think that was the case. As Carrie mentioned, his church was affirming church. It did support a lot of same-sex couples. I don't think that was the case in this situation. I feel as if this guy was violated. Like, your privacy is not supposed to be portrayed to everyone. But on the other hand, some say it was not a church like that. He was preaching against homosexuality and etc. You see, this whole conflict with this man, it doesn't matter what he was preaching or whatever he did after he was preaching, but at the end of the day, we can't separate the fact that a crime was committed when his body was exposed to the world in social media. I do not think of this as a consequence. I think of this as an embarrassment for him. It's an embarrassment. He could have been single and be whatever he wants. And I'm going to say this. I don't think people need to come out. I really don't think people need to come out. We're in a time now where if you want to live your life, live it how you want to live. People don't need to know how you live your life and stuff. I don't think you should be obligated to tell people how your life is.
Well, I'm going to say this. Sebastian, hold on one second. I'm going to let you finish, but I'm going to say this. It depends on the situation. If I marry a man and I say I'm a heterosexual and every night I'm out there sneaking and I'm sleeping with females, that's messy. That's messy. So you have a right to live your life, but whoever you're engaging with, you owe it to them to tell the truth.
Yes, you owe it to them to tell the truth, but this guy was a single guy. When I meant that you can live your life however you want, obviously I mean when you're single, not when you're in a committed relationship like Candy Burris does. Oh, I don't know why she came up.
Let's not go off the track here. But see, let me say this though also. When you sign up for certain jobs, there's the fine print. You can't be in the pulpit preaching the word, especially if you're going to preach the word in something that you know they have these strict beliefs on certain things. And then you want to do what you're doing, you need to out yourself, so to speak, first. You need to tell your truth, because even if it wasn't this guy, somebody was going to say something.
Saying something and exposing something are two different things. This guy did
Either
not
way,
say he exposed this man. This man was...
It's dead wrong. We know that,
exposed.
Right? But I'm saying that it wouldn't have been such an exposure. It wouldn't have been such an exposure if all your truth was already out. He probably wouldn't have been able to even use it.
No, I think even if all his truth was out, I still think he would have still been. It would have been an exposure because those were his nude body parts.
Yeah,
his body parts were
I guess
to the whole world.
We're gonna have to come to a middle road. What I'm saying is, if you're going to go threaten me or do something, and everybody already know I'm doing it.
I don't think he was being blackmailed, though. This guy was not being blackmailed or anything. I don't think that. I personally think that in this case, the pastor, since you guys are saying he should have been clean with his church, okay, fine. Yes, he should have been clean with his church. He should have told his church how his lifestyle is, and etc. and etc. But still, that does not negate the fact that this person committed a crime. You cannot do this stuff. This is like the similar thing what Rob did to China, where he gave out the revenge things of China. It's wrong. You do not do stuff like this. You don't do stuff like this. You do not expose people's livelihoods and body parts. Don't do stuff like this. I will say about the one who unalived someone. You can't be taking people off this earth. You can't be taking people off this earth, point blank and period. The only time you could take someone off this earth is if you're defending yourself or if that person is a danger to society. But in this case, that was not the case. You were married. You stepped out of your marriage. You had a whole relationship with someone else while you were still married. You're a pastor and you're committing adultery, which is one of the most deadliest sins on this planet that you can ever do. He's still alive, right, Diva? That pastor?
Yeah, he's in jail.
Oh,
I'm
he's in jail.
connected
Well,
with
he's
you.
gonna get it one day.
I'm connected with you, E. Go ahead.
He's gonna get it one day. He's gonna get it. Someone said I'm arguing revenge P. No, I'm not arguing it. I'm just saying that you don't do stuff like that. I'm not arguing for it. I'm saying that you can't do stuff like that. You cannot do stuff like
I think Robin is connecting with you.
Oh, okay.
I think Robin is connecting with you. So let me move on. Let me get some other people in this conversation. But the more things I throw in here is just so that y'all can see his situation is not unusual, right? And I think as a whole, there needs to be a way where people are able to speak their truth so that maybe we will lessen the amount of people that are hiding instead of telling the truth, right? Because like I said, with that guy who unfortunately unalived the transgender, his wife still stayed with him pretty much. I don't know if she's with him to this day while he's locked up, but I wouldn't be surprised if she is not. Because when he got out of jail before his whole trial and his sentence, she got back with him. So my thing is, I almost feel like even if people tell their truth, like tell the truth, because probably 9 times out of 10, the person you tell it to, they're going to deal with it. Because it seems like these people end up dealing with it anyway. If I knew my husband unalived somebody, it's one thing if I got to deal with his sexuality, but you unalive somebody, let me tell you something, I'm good. I don't want nothing to do with you. Go ahead on and suffer whatever consequences you get. It's not just that he was sleeping with the transgender and he was going out doing this. So you jeopardizing my life, number one, because you just going down there and sleeping with, because he slept with other females down at this particular place, because the other one said they didn't like his personality and they stopped sleeping with him. And he would drive around, I guess, until he saw somebody he liked the way they looked. And then he would hire them to do whatever it is they do. So this man was sleeping with multiple people. Okay. And then you coming back home. I'm sure he was still sleeping with his wife. And then she knew that he unalived this girl and just left her there for dead. And you going to get back with him. You deserve whatever you get from this man because you're crazy. Now, I just want to present one more situation. This is the church night. I guess we're doing church on Friday. This is just another situation. It goes down in the churches. Let's just hear this.
Some of y'all might know me, some may not. I'm the black sheep, but I'm also Agnes' son. I wanted to thank New Hope for helping me and my family in a time of need. Our home caught on fire a couple of months back, and New Hope came through. You guys really helped us out, and I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. I'm sorry, myself and my family, we greatly appreciate it. You know, a while back when I was younger, the church was a pillar of the community. When you needed help or when you needed something done, you went to the church. I'm saying it's good to see that that's still going on today. Yeah. Now, for my second order of business, I'm going to keep it good. You know me, I keep it funky. There's some things that's going on inside this church. My mother is messing with Mr. Nate. He's a married man. I thought I told you to keep it clean.
Ooh.
No, sir. To God be glory.
Ooh.
Well,
Why he go out his mama like that?
Because it's wrong.
Oh my God.
Because it's wrong. He said he got some stuff to talk about.
well,
He got some stuff on his chest that he got to get off.
He has some stuff. Woo, woo, woo. I'm just telling y'all,
Lord.
that it goes down in the church, whether it's a heterosexual relationship, whatever it is, it goes down up in the church.
God up there laughing.
And
Tell
see,
me more to
and you see, them people in the church knew, because he told them before he even said it. He said, keep it easy, keep it, be good. He said, you know, I always keep it real.
Oh,
okay. He said, now it ain't right. My mom messing with Mr. Nate, and he a married man.
Oh.
His heart wouldn't let him do it, even though it was his mother. Now
oh my God.
Come on now, his second order of business. You better come on now.
Oh my God.
Who Jesus?
Well, come on now. We gotta hear from Mr. Nate and Mama Bear now. We gotta stay
okay. He had to get off his chest. Let that man speak. Dustin, what are your thoughts? They took the mic from him. They ain't let him finish. Dustin, are you there? Because I'm about to move on. All right, I'm going to move on from Dustin. Denzel, you're up.
Well, you know what? Oh my God. No, I'm looking at the chat. They are something else.
Come on, Dustin. Come on now.
Okay, let me. I'm trying not to laugh. But you know, listen. You know, he went. You know, he was a pastor. Mm-hmm. You know. Now he was single. You know, it's nobody's business. You know, that person that filmed what they were doing, he was being messy. You know, I get, I do get what people are saying, but this is how I feel. You know, first of all, he really needs to ask Jesus Christ for forgiveness for pretending to be something, pretending to be somebody else at church as a pastor, because they probably thought, something else. But again, I mean, that's none of their business. But for me, I think he needs to apologize to Jesus first. And and just apologize to the church as well. Simply because if he don't do that, they're gonna be like, well, why you didn't say anything? I get that it's not easy to come out, and so maybe he didn't say nothing because he probably didn't want to get disowned, because that does happen a lot. So I hope he live his true self and his true identity. And to the other pastor, which he was not a pastor, he was a false prophet.
Oh, come on now, Denzel. Woo.
Okay, he is a wolf in sheep's clothing. He was a false prophet.
Oh my God.
First of all, he got wife and kids.
Come on now.
He got wife and kids, and he had a nerve to come back to his house, to their house. He's laying in their bed. He's laying next to his wife, lying to her, and doing, they probably being intimate or whatever, and he ain't letting her know that he's doing that. Like, yo, he was wrong. And God only knows what kind of disease he got. I'm praying for the wife. Now the wife, if she stays with him, she's a fool. She's a fool. She better not go back to that man, because if she does, she's a fool, because first of all, he unalived you know, that pretty transgender woman.
Yes.
And then, yeah, and then, you know, he's going to prison, you know, and so that's what I'm saying. And see, I don't want to take too long, Tiva, but for me, I have trust issues. Once you lie to me, you cheat on me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm done. I am done.
That's it.
Call them
Done.
trash. Call them trash. Say trash one time for me. Make me
You like what? You like what I say that?
Yeah, say, call them
He's
trash.
he's
Listen, I
he's
was over
trash. He's
here
gutter,
shouting,
low,
homie. He had a
trash.
whole word prepared tonight.
Okay, he's gutter, low, trash. I know how it is to be cheated on. It don't feel good.
Come
It
on,
don't
you better
feel
talk,
good.
you better talk about
That's
it.
why I'm single now, because you know what? I don't got time for these I don't got time for foolishness. I'm
Denzel
gonna
don't
stay
have time for
single.
these hoes. These hoes ain't loyal. Let them know, Denzel. Let them know.
Right. I'm single, and I'm gonna stay single until I pass away. Until the good Lord call me home.
Oh,
So so yeah, he's gutter trash.
Mm-hmm.
I'm praying for the children, and I am praying for the wife. But if she takes him back, she's a gutter fool. And I said what I said. And one more thing, Diva.
Mic drop.
Mic drop. You know, so the man that was outing, outing, huh? Yeah, I don't blame him. I don't blame him, because you know what? I was about to. This was a long talk. I was about to out my ex-girlfriend. I was about to I was about to call her out. I was about to tell what happened at the church.
Oh,
but I said no. I said no. I'm not gonna do that. I'm a nice Christian. I ain't gonna do that. But she backstabbed me.
Tell the whole church, Denzel. Tell the whole church.
She did me dirty. First of all, look, Diva, I'm sorry for taking so long. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Right.
With everybody, I'm bisexual, but the thing is, she lied to me. She lied to me. I bought her a phone, and because something told me to check her phone, and I believe Jesus Christ told me to check her phone. I checked her phone. I was like, "Are you serious?
What it say?
Are you serious?"
Say?
No, it was some inappropriate stuff. I was at Bible study.
I believe you.
I was at Bible study, and she had the nerve. Yeah, I was at Bible study.
Click the ride.
Huh?
No, let that no. Hold on.
No,
Let that tell it.
I went to
this phone. Come on, tell it. Come on, tell it.
So I went to Bible study, and I asked her mom. I said, "Where is she at?" She said, "Well, she's sick." So after Bible study, she dropped me off to her house. And when I went in there, I said, and then I saw what I saw in that phone. You know what I did? You know what I did? And people think that I'm retarded and stupid. I was like, okay, I'm gonna show you who's stupid and retarded right now. I took that phone right back. I got my money back, and we were done. I was trying to work it out with her, but I said, And then she had the nerve to tell people at the church that I was stalking her. I was like, you know what? You a no good tramp. Excuse my language. No good
That's your other word.
tramp.
You should have called me. Auntie would have been there in a hurry. Do I need to come North Carolina?
Okay. So I glad that he did that. I'm glad he did that, because you're not gonna come to church. You're not gonna come to church and act like you prison and proper and act like you somebody else. I'm glad he told on her.
On his mama. He told on
Yeah,
her.
I'm glad he told her. I'm glad he told on her, because you know what? I don't really like Nene like that, but when you never win when you play dirty, honey.
You never
Not
win
the
with
hussies.
dirty.
It's always the hussies in the church.
Great child church tonight. Well, you know what, Denzel? I'm glad you didn't tell about her up in the church. And I'm
No, but the diva, you know, I'm glad I didn't. But you know what?
What?
She got her karma though. But the thing is, she had another go on her Facebook and tell people that she got a stalker on her head. She was talking about me, and she was telling people at the church. I was like, you know what? Okay. I'm not gonna say anything, but I said, you know, Jesus, He's gonna work it out. She's gonna get her karma. God don't like ugly. And she told everybody at the church. And I said, you know what? And I left the church too because I said, you know what? This is the devil. I got to get out. I said I can't do this anymore. And when I find out when I have a feeling that the person is fake and they lying to me, I stay away. And that's the Diva. I'm sorry for my time.
You're fine. You got me in tears.
Oh, Jesus, fix it.
Woo. That's
You
right.
had me.
Thank you, Jesus.
You know what,
Thank
though?
you,
Take
Jesus.
that
Let the
phone
church
back.
say amen.
Amen.
Right.
Take that phone back.
Denzel,
I
leave the
sure did,
hussies
and I got
alone.
my money back.
Hold on. Felicia,
Amen.
let Felicia in the building. Felicia,
Okay.
thoughts. They feeling you, Denzel. Take the phone back. Don't be playing me out.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't stupid.
All right. Well, good evening.
Good evening.
Felicia.
You know, it's wonderful when you think about the gifts you have, when you can listen to folks trash.
Wait,
talk.
Felicia, hold on a second. Then hold on, everybody. We're walking in. Sister Felicia's in the building. Go ahead, Felicia.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You know, when I was a young mom, every Thursday and Friday and Saturday night, you could find me in the club.
Okay.
It would be free for the ladies before 11.
You better tell them.
Me and the crew would be there, sure enough, by 5 minutes to 11.
That's right. Getting
And
your
I
friends.
would dance and dance and dance until 4:15. And I would have all of these church-going folk talking about what you doing in the club. And now I get to hear tonight what y'all doing in the church.
Okay, now come on now, talk to the people.
I am listening to the pastors having issues. I am listening to the mama having an issue with Mr. Nate. I don't know, Mr. Nate. I don't know. Was he an usher? I don't know, but he was very polite when he took back the mic from the man in the wheelchair. And I'm saying, oh my, I see why people go to church more than they do the club. See, because in the club, everybody ain't sexing and screwing and making out. Some folks like me love to go in there and go dance and party and hang out and lose weight. And then you go home by yourself.
Okay, now.
In church, it seems like you can do all of this right inside of the church. In my opinion, I absolutely agree with you. Social media is not a confessional. And when we talk about the church, nobody brought up the Roman Catholic Church.
Come on now.
So many priests have bankrupted that church. So many children violated. So many women predated on. And I'm like, wow. And people still go and still give and still believe. So that's a testimony to the life of Jesus Christ, that folks still go.
That's right.
And still believe. For the first pastor who got up there and was talking about he wanted to apologize to everybody, I got to agree with Sebastian. There was no blackmail here. I got to agree with E. I don't think that this is an issue for a single person to feel they need to be up there weeping. But I also agree with, in my opinion, this was about his paycheck. And I believe everything comes down to economics. So he needs his money. And that's what he was pleading for. I think the term pastor and that M person is an oxymoron. I don't care if he was with a trans woman, another man, another woman, a child. He's an Emmer. He took someone's life. And that to me is the pinnacle of how horrible he is. If his wife took those vows and believed till death do us part, then she has the right to stay with him. I'm not judging her. She that's her husband. Those are the vows I believe she probably took, and she gonna stay till death do us part. But I am reminded in all of these, and I say it again to those folks I've been on here with, predators are everywhere. They're in your bed, they're in your church, they're in your school, they're in your building, they're in your neighborhood. Please stay alert. Protect one another. You know, larceny in the hearts of these people is real. They don't value you. I'm thinking about E the other night. See the only black guy in the video? He was down there. He wasn't helping nobody. He was just taking video. Folks on standby. Yet we continue to believe collectively, and maybe we don't, and those who disagree, that we are the truest, the most faithful believers. And yet all of this darkness surrounds us. And I believe in all three of those instances, everybody pretty much knew the truth. What the son said wasn't new to nobody. What was shocking was he had an altar call to call out his mom. I mean, I just was like, what is happening here? It was that bad. And I don't think the relationship is over.
Yeah, it ain't.
It ain't. I don't know how he got in the wheelchair. And he was thanking everybody. He was so gentle a spirit. And threw his mama out there publicly at the altar. Now, I know everybody knows what it means to take an altar call, but he certainly gave us a different spin on it. So going forward, everybody better be looking out. When somebody going down to the altar, they may be getting ready to call you out.
Oh my.
So, I'm disappointed, but we know this exists. Good luck, folks.
Thank you. Julius, I'm coming to you, but hold on one second. Let me just introduce one more church situation into it. 1 second. Hold on, guys.
You is making it church night, ain't it?
Huh? Listen.
I say you is making it church night, ain't it?
Let me just see if this is the video I want to show. I may have to come back to it because it's another video. Hold on, I'll come back to it. So while I look for it, Julius, you go.
This is an announcement to anybody. It don't matter if you're straight, LGBTQ. If you feel a calling upon your life, go to a church that will love you, support you authentically and openly. Okay, now we got the professionalness out the way. Now let's get to the messy. The first story.
Oh God.
Oh, I'm gonna behave. Mine is tame, I promise. The first story. He didn't have a wife. Currently, okay. A crime was committed. Me, from personal experience, I know what that feels like to have your trust violated. I shared that on the panel before. It's not pretty. If he wasn't out to his church, even though there's conflicting reports, he welcomed everybody. There's the Episcopal Church. There's the Metropolitan Community Churches affiliation, the United Church of Christ, to where he can continue his calling as a man of God and deliver his sermon. Now that that's out the way, the second person, I truly have no words. I thought I would be able to have a thought. I have no words because a person was unalived. Gender identity put aside.
Yes, that is correct.
She was still a person.
Yeah.
I'm gonna table that one because I truly have no words. I want to know more about Mr. Nate and the mama, cause cause I was just like, ooh, when did Mr. Nate and mama start doing the honky tonk? Cause boy, he felt it. He felt a call on his spirit. I was just like, ooh, cause listen, I tell anybody, I ain't the perfect lamb. I ain't Yahshua. I ain't Jesus, Yahshua. I've been at word. Hold on, let me sip my tea. Sit. Cause he was sharing the tea, baby. To anybody who is struggling, this is like a message that I'm getting. God loves you. Despite what the many false prophets who are out there, you may have to find your own. Sorry, that was my little weather app. You may have to find your own way. You may have to navigate it. It's not going to be easy, but it is worth it. God loves you. God is love. God knew you were gay, bi, trans, lesbian. It didn't matter to you. He made you in that image.
Amen.
Yes, he did. Yes, I am.
That's it.
Yes, I am, Augusta. Right after we finish this story. Yes, I am. Juice, I'm coming to you. But before I come to you, let me just share one more situation. I'm only going to be able to play about 30 seconds of this situation. Hold on one second. Let me make sure I pull up the right thing. Okay, here it is. Okay, another pastor kind of not really telling his truth. Okay, so hold on one second. Let me back it up some. Okay, here we go.
Paid me my money. You ain't paid me my money. You want this camera when you give me my money. 15 minutes. You know the drill. How many times will we meet up, Joe? This time? This time, really? You think we fit? No, I'm sorry. Your wife gonna see this. Your wife is gonna see this. Pay my money or get a divorce. Which one is gonna be? Which one is it gonna be? Give me off that game. She's gonna know. Give me off 3-4 times a week. He here, y'all. Facebook. He's here.
Woo. Another one. Wife don't know. Going out you. He want his money. She wants some money. The video is wild. Yes. Juice, you're up. And
y'all know,
how are you?
I am wonderful. How are y'all doing?
Doing well. Friday
Great
night.
to hear you, Juice. Hey, beautiful. How is everyone? Listen, Diva, I want to first applaud you.
Okay.
Applaud you. This was a much needed conversation, and thank you for having it on your panel.
Thank you.
Much needed conversation. You covered several areas. I can tell you did your extreme homework because you pulled out all the videos, including the latest one that you just have on here. So thank you tremendously for having a conversation. I want to say two things. John 8:7. John 8:7 speaks about the woman who the men were trying to stone. And Jesus said to the men, "He who is without sin cast the first stone." He just made it known. And basically what that verse tells you when you study that parable, it will say that Jesus then stooped down and he wrote something in the sand. The words never said, the Bible never tells us what the words were that he wrote in the sand. Basically, when you study and you get more in detailed about that, basically what he was really trying to portray in this parable was Jesus was saying, I got something on all of y'all. I know what all of y'all are doing.
Come on now.
So basically, if I'm going to have to stone her, I'm going to have to pick up these same stones that you're about to stone her with, and I'm going to have to turn around and stone y'all.
Come on now.
All of us have something in our lives that we're dealing with, that we're going through. The Bible also speaks about, what's done in the dark. It's going to come to the light.
Right.
So these pastors, ministers, and it's not just a pastor or minister thing. This is a human being thing. If you're out there doing something you know you're not supposed to do, it will come to the light. The reason why this particular thing is coming to the light so bright is because the collar that this gentleman wears, like you said earlier in the video, Diva, the position that he holds. When you hold a certain position, you have to be in position for your position.
Woo! Say that word.
And he was not in position. He was not in position for his position. So this, I think, now this happened, like a lot of people have been saying, and I've been saying this on other panels as well. This is Swaggart all over again. This is Jimmy Swaggart all over again. And I hope this pastor, maybe this pastor did see this thing that happened with Jimmy Swaggart, and maybe he thought, hey, Swaggart did it. I better confess. I better come clean. I better do this before it really gets to a big boiling point. And he did. He had, hit it head on. Now, a lot of people say, well, he wasn't real. His crocodile tears, whatever. He just has to answer to God. He just gave us a little, hello, this is it. But I believe his conversation really needs to be with God. But what's done in the dark is going to come to the light, people. And if you are not ready to hold your position, then you need to get out of line and let somebody else do it.
I feel that way too.
Absolutely.
Move
Get
out the way.
out of line. Get out of the way. Choose where you are going to fit and stop trying to put a square peg into a round hole.
Woo! You better talk.
So everyone has a, now again, I said in the chats here, this is not necessarily about a pastor cheating. This is about a man thinking he had to hide his lifestyle because he has been taught in the same pulpit that he's teaching that what he wants to do with his life is not welcomed.
Come on now.
So he has to hide it.
Speak the facts.
And so when people have to hide stuff, but they still want the position, what they're doing is they're skipping the line, they're butting the line, and they're in a position that they're not ready to hold it down. Everybody on the team in church has to be able to hold down their position. There is a term that the military uses. It is called hold the line. If we are not able to hold our position, then how in the world are we going to be able to hold the line? And when that term is used in the military sense, it is meant that everybody hold tight because we're not going to let this line break. Whatever's trying to get through won't get through. Here's why I said that. Because the church has no line. Nobody's holding anything. They have just let it go. And so what the church has to do is to get back to holding the line. The reason why the church can't hold the line is because the church is trying to determine who's supposed to hold it.
Come on.
You better talk. You better talk.
God designs who's supposed to be in position, but man has got it so confused from generations past and worse up to today that man thinks they are the one who put people in position. And that is why the line is broken in the churches today. People are in positions that they are not equipped to hold the line.
You better come on and talk.
So
and let me get
we have to get strengthened. We have to get people in the right position. I got my 5-year-old nephew in the room there. I am not going to tell my 5-year-old nephew to hold the line for me that I know takes the strength and endurance of somebody who knows how to have that strength. We've got weak people in positions. Not saying that this man is weak, but I'm saying they have not been equipped. And when you're hiding, thank you, Holy Spirit, when you're hiding something in your life, that means you can't have both hands on your position. You've got one trying to push back what you're trying to hide and trying to hold the line with the one hand, but you can't hold it like that. You are too weak for that position. When you let go of trying to hide what you have, you can then put both hands on the line and hold it with all your strength. That's what I have to say. But thank you for having this conversation.
Ooh, you better tell it.
Amen.
Tell it. Everybody is not ready for the position. One girl was like, I'm afraid of blood. Well, how you signed up to be a nurse?
Right.
You getting nervous when there's a cold. You need to get out the room. This ain't the job for you.
No.
Somebody gonna die under your watch. Cause you about to pass out. Where they do that at? And so even as being an usher, you cannot have an attitude because you don't know who's about to walk up in that building and need that smile from you. You ain't ready. You ain't ready to hold the line. You better come on and talk that talk. You ain't ready to hold the line. How you going to be up in the pulpit? Because now you have the potential. You may destroy 50 lives because of your lie or what you're trying to hide. You're destroying people. Because the people are looking at you as the person delivering the word from God. You there hiding, and sometimes you up there preaching. Now, I'm not saying this particular individual, but there has been others that have done it. You in there preaching against blah, 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 and you know you out there doing it.
But the church is the reason why we have weak people, because people are not confident in themselves, because the church has spoken down to them so much that the people are now trying to design themselves to be what the church thinks they're supposed to be, but not being considerate enough to learn, who does God say that I am? There's a book in the Bible, the book of Amos. Amos was out there tending his own vineyard out there, taking care of his stuff. And God called him to go and tell the prophets what thus saith the Lord. The prophets didn't want to listen to Amos because they said, who are you? We didn't appoint you to do anything. We didn't tell you to be here. But Amos said, I don't come from a lineage of apostles and preachers. I come from God. God assigned me. So the problem is with the church, we think that we're supposed to only accept people that have scholarships in theology, that got all of these degrees, but not accept somebody who has a true heart for what they want to do.
You better come on.
So this, I blame a lot of this stuff, especially this first pastor that we spoke of, that gave his cry of apology. I blame the church, because the church taught him how to hide his identity.
That's right.
When we were talking tonight.
That's all.
Amen, Juice.
Come on
Amen.
Yes.
Talking tonight.
Yes. So I applaud you again, Diva, for having this. I applaud everyone on the panel. Great words of wisdom. These are conversations that we need to continue to have. We're going to continue to have this on the Juice Radio and Talk Show. Girl, you made me tonight. I said, well, I got to up my game over here at the Juice. I got to up my game because, and that's what one would do. We each strengthen each other.
Yes, come on now, talk about it.
Each strengthen each other.
Yes.
But we have to continue to have more of these conversations. The whole conversation about the first pastor was really not to try and demean him and take away his character and all of that. It's really an eye opener for him. He can take this opportunity now to make a choice. He's at a crossroad right now. You no longer have to hide, or you can continue to hide. It is your choice now. But the greater thing is he should choose now to live the life that he is comfortable with, that he is good with, or he can get redeemed. It's up to him, whichever one. Now, when I say redeemed, that means he's going to change whichever life he wants. But he still has the ability to live his life and do what is good. Nobody said, there's a lot of people, there should not be any gay pastors in the church. I'm getting ready to do a series right now. If there's not a gay pastor, then where do the gay people go when the straight pastor kicks them out the back door?
How about this though? You can extend that conversation, because there's a lot of, the single mother, the this, the that.
Yes.
I mean, the list goes on. We will all be on the streets. Right. I promise you that. The person that fornicates, the this, the that, the whatever the case may be.
The drunkards, the abusers of drugs, all the people.
Come on.
Amen.
They said everything that you need is in the house, but how you gonna come to the house and y'all kicking me out because you decided from this list of no's based on your word, I got to go.
Well, the Bible tells us to come as we are.
Come on now.
But here's the problem. The church wants to give you a list of what you're supposed to look like before you get in the door. But how can we come as we are? And the other thing is, when people actually get to slip into the church, then what happens is the church has now designed themselves to try and make you who they want you to be and try and change you to be something else. But God said for us to be lovers, we're supposed to love everyone. He never told us we're supposed to change anybody. We can't change something that we didn't create. So the church has to get out the way and let God back in the building. God is not in a lot of these churches. He's standing outside still knocking on the door. And he can't get in. You know why? Because he don't look like what the church says a member is supposed to look like.
Come on now. You better talk. You better talk. Hold on, Wayne. I'm coming to you. 1 second, guys.
Go ahead. I'll let the others talk. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. I couldn't play this video, or I got to do 30-second clips. But we'll do another 30 seconds here.
Meeting with me in this room. Yeah. No, I'm not getting you off for nothing. Everybody gonna know about you running my money. I ain't got time for this. You know my money is valuable. I'm sorry. You know my time is my money, and I explain my time with you. I gave you $200, and you got $200 worth of pleasure the last time too. Let me pay you when I get home. No. You ain't gave me nothing extra. You got extras. I'm sorry. No.
Woo.
Woo. Wow.
Woo. Wayne, you're up.
Oh, a lot of these people, I think now that church is the biggest money grab. They want a plane. They want 5 cars and all that. And a lot of these people ain't bit more got the spirit of God in them than the man in the moon. All they doing is getting up there, a sounding brass and a tinkling cymbal. And there's an old saying, you don't shit in your backyard. Okay? He didn't have the decency to go out and get somebody else. And I wonder, if he hadn't got caught, would he come forth and says, I've sinned, forgive me. I did something despicable. That's a real apology. Not after you got caught. Not if you got caught. I mean, he could have told them people, hey, I'm gay. They said he has trans people, whatever, all in this congregation, which is great. He would have had the support. And I think the straight people that's in his congregation probably wouldn't have a problem with it either. But now he's tarnished. Now he wants forgiveness. Wants to act like it hadn't happened. Probably, and other people, I mean, like whether it's homosexuality, what's that other word? Adultery, whatever it is, sin is sin, all come short of the glory of God. But he wasn't just a minister. He was an apostle. That's a high title in the church. People look up to you. And this is what he did to him. And now he's going to get up there and get like Jimmy Swagger. I've sinned, blah, 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 blah. So I want to know, hey, I would forgive him, but I could care less. He ain't my pastor, but I could care less. But, I don't hold him to no esteem that this is the pastor, but you just can't be living like that. You just can't be living like that. I'm done.
All right. I think what it is for him is I think it was more about, I think it was the embarrassment of it all, right? And I just want to say this. There are a ton of good churches out there. And I do personally believe, hey, Dustin, give me a minute. I personally believe that, you know what, I don't really mind about, just like when I go to my job, I want to get paid, I want to get raises. I don't got no problem paying my tithes. I'm getting noise or feedback from somewhere. If you're not talking, just mute yourself for a minute. I really see. So I don't want everybody to think that I'm just 100% on the opposite side. I'm not. I will always go to church. I always went and always will still go. And I'm a tither. No, I believe in all of that. And listen, if someone in the church is not doing right with the money, that's on them. It ain't got nothing to do with me, right? And so yes, a lot of these churches, they're mega churches now, and they have their private jets or whatever. But a lot of them at the mega churches, they do something way beyond just the word in the pulpit. They're writing books. They go on speaking engagements. So, you know, they got the right to their houses and their jets or whatever the case may be, right? And a lot of them are really healing and helping the people. I don't have an issue with that. I also, with this particular one, I think that he knew, because, you know, it went viral and it went public. He didn't know what else to do, right? And so he felt like he had to speak to the people. And what I think, though, is that his backlash wouldn't have been as harsh if he was caught with a female and there was a female, you know, video out there of him having sex with a female. It's a lot. It's a lot of dynamics going on, and this conversation could last forever, right? But because Diva, I will hope that everyone realizes we're not including all churches, just these jive. Yes. Thank you, Mo. Exactly. But I just want to throw that out there, right? And I really felt the need to throw it out there. And I appreciate you, Mo. And I'm glad you wrote that. I really want to throw that out there because we're never going to find perfection. But you definitely want to come as close as you can. And the people who take on those positions, they need to realize, you know, how many lives they are impacting, whether they're impacting it in a negative or positive way. And that when you take on a position like that, you really got to be ready. You really got to be called. So again, the jeopardizing of this particular pastor, who the person is asking for their money, the fact that you're constantly with this man, according to him in the video, and then you're going back to your wife and you're just jeopardizing the life of your wife, right? Let me just play this, the rest of this really quickly.
Absolutely not. This ain't happening. You're not leaving, Joe. No. When you give me my money, I'll get you off the camera. You're getting a divorce. What you're gonna get is a divorce. Everybody on Facebook is gonna see this. Yes, his name is Joe. She'll know who you are. Everybody might not know, but she will know. She will know. You know, when you give me my money, that's all you gotta do. Is give me my money. Give me my money. That's all you have to do.
I think it's sad, though. I will never agree with this outing like that. That is just a lot. I just don't agree with that. And sometimes I also will say this. I feel like the people involved, they kind of know something's not right. Now, whether they know to this particular level, we'll never know. But I feel like they know that something is not right. But I will never agree to the way that these people decide to out the people. I just think it's wrong. And, you know, obviously, when you're in a situation like that, when someone feels they have to hide, then that person got a struggle within themselves too, right? That they're coming, that this is the life that they probably really, really love and like and want to be in it again, but because of societal pressures, and he also was a pastor, he's feeling like, I can't live my truth, so I got to go sneak around and do it. And that's a whole nother conversation in and of itself, because there are people who just in general feel like they can't tell their truth to their parents. There are people, for real, teenagers, who come to their parents, come to their family, and they get disowned. And then they end up living in the streets. They end up selling their body to get food, to make money, to have some place to live. So this is a very real situation, and it's real for any individual that's in it, whether they are young or they're older, the need that they feel that they have to hide. There was a very popular pastor, his name is slipping my mind right now, but a very popular pastor had the word in his mouth. And then it came out that, you know, he was allegedly, you know, you know, some people said it was proven. I'll just say allegedly. And may he rest in peace now. Sleeping with
Eddie Long.
Eddie Long. Thank you guys. Eddie Long. Eddie Long. Several young men said that he groomed them, and he was married, had a whole wife and kids. You know, when he passed towards the end of his life, it was alleged, you know, he had a condition. And so all this time you're exposing your wife to things, because he ended up passing really quickly, lost a lot of weight towards the end of his life. Many people allege several things, but he's not the only pastor. And it's like the protection of a lot of pastors is what leave a lot of people in a congregation broken, hurt, and you're messing with their religion also. You messing with their belief. Here they are, they went to church to get healed because they already was broken from the streets. They come to church to get healed only to find out that the person that was responsible for delivering the word of God to them was a whole hot mess. And now it makes them not want to believe or trust any church or even trust the word. So it's just a whole hot mess, right? Yeah, but Eddie Long, you could Google the story. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I also feel so hurt. Like, I was so hurt for the young men for the accusations that they said he did to them at such a young age. And they was very confused because they was meeting celebrities. They was exposed to just that lifestyle of having a lot of money, this, that, and the other. And if you go to the church, I think, you know, for a lot of people that go to the church, their pastor is almost like a Beyonce. It's like a Michael Jackson. Like, it's a lot. But those are all, you know, conversations we can have in another day. But people really look up to the people in their church that are leading the church like that. But like I said, there's a lot of amazing, you know, men and women of God in these churches that are doing the right things, that are serving the community, that are saving the people. Currently go to one now, my sister church. And, you know, tomorrow they're doing a movie day in the church. They give back. They give out. They give so much. There's so many great examples out there. But just like anything, with any profession, you got the bad seeds that make the whole thing just look bad. All right. So thank you guys for this conversation. I know it was heavy, but I also appreciated the way everybody spoke and handled the conversation. So I want to say thank y'all for that, right? It did not go left. Now, I want to close out because this is a very good conversation I want to close out with, and I will go to everybody. I got to see where did my story go? Okay, I have it here. So I want to bring this story up with Robin Roberts, right? Because I'm trying to figure out where's this true friendship? Are you a fair weather friend? You just my friend when all is going well, but as soon as I fall in the pit hole, you going to leave me down there for dead like the rest of the people who were never my friends? Now, we're going to get into this Robin Roberts story really quickly, and this is the story we're going to close out on because I think it's messy, right? So Robin Roberts, okay, is getting married. So my girlfriend. So not invited. Robin Roberts bans ex-friends Amy Robach and TJ Holmes from dream wedding to fiance Amber after affair scandal. So you, my friend, I fell from grace. I had an affair. Now you ain't got no love for me? Was you ever really my friends? I'm going to say no, you was not. Okay? So a source exclusively told the U.S. Sun that while Robin's closest work friends at Good Morning America have snagged invites to the coveted event, Amy and TJ have been left out in the cold following their alleged affair. Okay. Amy and TJ are not invited, and Amy is furious about it. She and Robin were far more than work colleagues. They shared a deep friendship. When their scandal came out, Robin could have gone to bat for them. She had the power to do it, and they thought she would. The insider said of the former GMA3 co-host. Robin had the power to save Amy and TJ. She is that powerful at ABC, and she didn't. She could have made the case that despite everything, those two were consenting adults and they were separated, but she chose not to. Robin and Amy grew closer after the bride-to-be convinced her now former ABC colleague to get a mammogram on live TV in 2013. And if y'all ever watched the show, I remember that. Robin
I remember that too, Diva. I remember that too. I remember that.
You remember that? Because it was a van and they got off the mobile mammogram van and she convinced her to get on there and get that mammogram. Robin had been diagnosed with breast cancer in 2007 and was cancer-free by 2008. She told Amy that during the medical procedure on air could help to save a life, and it did. As Amy was diagnosed with breast cancer weeks after the examination, Robin and I instantly became sisters, Amy shared in an interview in 2021. Okay, sisters. The insider continued. Amy and Robin were incredibly close. Amy and Laura would compete for Robin's attention, and Robin loved it. The source said Robin, 62, keeps a very tight and trusted circle of friends, and that her guest list will include people she actually wants there. She isn't inviting people because she has to. The big event, and it goes on about the event or whatever the case may be, but I want to tell you, for real, not for play, Amy and Robin were friends. Well, so Amy thought. Now, I'll connect this article into the description box in case you want to go and see it. I'll do that. This is sad to me. How you gonna be my friend? Let me tell you something. I got friends that's 25 years deep. Easy. Some I got one of my girlfriends, I'm gonna say we 30 years in. We met in grade school. There ain't no way. I don't care what happens. And because there's a lot of things that go down. I wouldn't do it. My friends did it. I wouldn't do it, but I'm still their friend. I ain't got no judgment. So what kind of friend is that? And just not, I'm not trying to diminish infidelity, but dang, I just slept with somebody. I made a mistake. Now you ain't got no love for me. In my opinion, what are your thoughts?
Well, to me, let me tell you, and I followed this story really closely, but to me, it sounded like Robin Roberts was the one that was snitching them out when they was having this, what you call, affair going on. Mm-hmm. And she was the one talking to the exec, so I don't blame. Like, it is what it is. It's a sticky road. They both was legally married, and we can't determine whether they was actually separated because wife came out and said they wasn't separated at the time. So I can't confirm or deny. I feel like when you're in a marriage, you're in a marriage, and until that divorce comes up, then you still married. And I just can't get away from that. So it is what it is. She don't want them there. She don't want them there.
I hear you in my opinion, but if that's your friend, I get us. We feel a certain way about it. That's fine. But are you done with your friend because your friend had did infidelity? Maybe
she thinks she's more friends than they are. I didn't hear Robin Roberts say we was like sisters. You said Robot said they was like sisters. Robin may not feel that way. Just because somebody else look at you like a sister don't mean you look at them the same way.
That's facts. Leo, your thoughts?
I'm feeling what Opinion is saying. I'm connecting with what she's saying. And because I have had friends, I still have friends 25 years in. One of my best friends, me and her known each other since we was 2 years old. Mm-hmm. And so I will never leave her side. She will have to leave my side. So that's the thing that Opinion is saying. Maybe, Robin is feeling a certain way about the friendship that Amy is not feeling. I'm sorry, Robin is feeling a certain way about the friendship and Amy don't know about it. Like, she got her limits. Amy got her whole nother set of limits. Like, I have friends that have done questionable, male and female, have done questionable things in their marriage. But it's not for me not to be their friend because they've done questionable things. They ain't married to me. Like, it didn't happen to me. I told you what to do. You ain't listen. You did your own thing. That's fine. But I am not a judge and I am not a jury. Like, I'm not that person. I am here to give you the best advice that will work out for you.
Yeah.
I'm always supporting you. If you do not listen, and then what happens with that is what happens with that. I'm not that person, right? I give advice all the time, right, Diva? So I give advice all the time. And like 60% of the time, none of them don't listen. They do what they gonna do, right? They gonna do what they gonna do. I'm not in control of that. I would not invite the wedding of the year to one of my closest friends. So like Opinion said, it is obvious that Robin does not see Robot as one of her closest friends. She doesn't.
Yeah.
She doesn't. She does not feel that relationship. Amy Robot feels a certain way about Robin. And I remember that episode when Robin was pleading with her to go and get the mammogram done.
I could see it in my head. I remember the mobile mammogram.
Yep.
And they announced it when she got her diagnosis. They announced it on the show. And I'm telling you, my heart was pumping.
I was too. I was sick. I was like, it had not been for your good friend Robin, the woman that cared about you, you probably would have died from this diagnosis.
Yeah.
Because you would have never done it because you were so resistant when she was asking you to do it. Like, you're going to help thousands and millions of people. Just go and do it. Like, nobody even, and it wasn't even 4 stages. It wasn't even that. It was, I think it was like stage 1 or stage 2. It wasn't, it was caught just in time. And Robin begged her to go in that mobile unit and do it.
Yeah.
Begged her.
She begged her.
I don't. And look, y'all, I'm gonna say this too. Just because Robin does not invite TJ and Amy to the wedding doesn't mean the friendship is over either. Friendships go through things. Friendships go through things. It's not even over yet.
I like that. I'll roll with that for right now. Felicia, your thoughts?
Hey, thank you, Diva. You know, following In My Opinion in Leo is tough. It's tough. When I first heard you mention that she didn't want her there or them there, the bride and the groom, or the groom and the groom and the bride, they have the right to invite who they want.
Facts.
I have no issue with her guest list. She invites who she wants. This piece about she and I were good friends or best friends or great work friends, that kind of thing. I'm reminding those in the chat and on the panel of Brian Chalker's statement of his book, of his poem. People come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And I think the word friend, as we've learned since October with the passing of Shaquilla Robinson, has to be looked at in a very thoughtful way. I agree with my opinion. Maybe Amy was looking to Robin as a best friend or sis, but Robin doesn't have her there. Or maybe Robin don't want her cheating, sexual assaulting boyfriend at her wedding. I mean, if we recall, there were other people in the workplace that said he was a problem. So if he was a problem to quite a few people there and they're coming, she don't want him there. And maybe Amy said, you know, I'm not coming without him. Then you're going to stay home. And that's that. I ain't angry with Robin. She's the bride or the groom, whatever. You invite who you want. Diva, you look so disappointed.
No, I'm hearing y'all. I'm hearing y'all. I'm gonna keep my No, I'm hearing y'all. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut because, Wayne.
You know, all I can say is that even if they weren't the best of friends, even if they thought it, if somebody made a suggestion that changed my life and kept me on this side of the green, I'm going to remember that the rest of my life. I mean, and since this is such a big, you know, a big wedding, how do you not? You know, there's people who have saved people's lives when they, you know, when they were younger or whatever, or saved their lives through a organ transplant and have come back to say, you know, I want you to hear your child's heart beating in my chest. You know, to me, I mean, she invited who she want, but I just think for that very reason, you know, maybe something egregious went on or whatever, you know, like maybe she doesn't want the guy, don't invite him. You know, if it's a guest list, you don't want them both to come, you know, and maybe, you know, she can understand this. People I like, but I don't like the other part. You know, but I think that's to me that I just don't know how you could do that. Somebody, you're here because of the suggestion of somebody else. You know, and that's just something. I just think there's should be some kind of loyalty there, you know, just something.
Yeah, I think what my struggle is, right, is that they claim, which I do believe, that everybody over there is getting it in with everybody, married, unmarried, not, right? And my struggle always is that, so because I got outed, now I'm the black sheep, but y'all know that everybody over there is getting down the same way that we was getting down. And I guess my other struggle is that I get that you're saying that she didn't necessarily consider Amy a friend the same way that Amy considered her a friend. And you know, we're never going to know how people felt. This is all just generic conversation, and I'm going to speak generically, not necessarily about them too. So generically, you know, when somebody feels that you're a certain level of friend to them, right? I don't know. Like, listen, I don't condone anything, and y'all heard me speak about side chicks all the time up here. Don't condone it, right? But one thing with me is, because I know we all fall short, my friends done some things, and guess what? That's still my friend.
Yep, me too. I'm down.
And listen, my friends, we will even be like, girl, you almost got us into some mess. But I didn't let them know how I really felt until we was out of said mess. And then I'll be like, child, if you ever. But even if they did and it happened again, I was there for the person I call my friend. I don't like this, just generically again speaking, I don't like this, you're somebody's friend until there's a public situation and then they go down and now all of a sudden you ain't got no love for them. You know, the best person I heard ever speak on a scandalous situation, Raven Simone, and I ended up loving her even more. She did the podcast with Harry Mandel and he asked her about Bill Cosby. And she said, listen, victims should be heard. And she said, but what I got to say about this is my experience with Bill Cosby was never anything negative. But on the same note, she said, I'm going to say victims need to be heard and they need to get their justice. So everybody else will, oh, we can't stand him, this, that, and the other. But I like the way she approached the situation. Said victims should be heard. So my thing is, for someone to just, once you are being banned by the public or whatever, want to outcast you, and they were supposed to be your friend, I'm just like, you was never my friend in the first place then. Because then when things want to turn around and you find out maybe perhaps I really didn't do that and you want to come back, don't come back over this way. Because I know now who you really are, and that when things go down, you ain't really going to have my back. That's all I'm saying. That's generically. Go ahead, Wayne. Then
I was just going to say, I was reading a book, and there are 4 kinds of friends: adders, dividers, subtractors, and multipliers. And it's called The Power of People. If you read this book, you will put people you know, I'm not saying friends, but you will put people you know in one of those categories. Is this book right here. I'm not promoting it. I don't get no money. But when I read this book right here, it's called The Power of People. And when you start reading it, you start seeing, oh, yeah, so-and-so falls in this category. Oh, wow. It actually, you start picturing people when you see who are the adders, the dividers, the subtractors, and the multipliers in your life. Get it. It don't cost that much.
Email me the whole title in the author.
Okay, it's a good
and that's our
read.
next book club book.
There you go, Leo. I was going to say that.
And it's short too.
All right, I definitely will. Juice, you're up. What are your thoughts?
Well, I haven't been following Robin Roberts' stories, but I do want to say this. When her wedding comes and goes, she's going to look back and everybody needs to know the same thing. This too shall pass. She may not be making the decision that we all agree with right now. Whatever the decision is her decision to make. She may be fine with it now. She may look at the wedding pictures later, years later, or maybe weeks later, and say she made a mistake because her friend Amy wasn't in the photos. That's something that she's going to have to deal with. Whatever reason she decides not to have them there, it maybe is not even Robin. It could be, the wife that says we don't want them there. But we're putting it on Robin because she's the one who's out here in the public like this. But I also want to say this. There's a lot of wedding photos out there in the world that don't even have family members in the photos.
Facts.
More or less than having someone who they considered was a really good friend. So I just wish them all well. I wish, the couples well. I wish Amy and her life well. Did some things happen? Yes, some things happened, but maybe those things needed to take place so that the real love that they have for the people they really wanted to love would come forth. So, I just wish them all well, but I haven't followed the story enough to give more light on that. But it just makes me think of even my own sister. I was going through a situation earlier this year where, I almost didn't allow her back in my life. So I look at that, and then I think of, I have people who are my friends that say, don't call me a friend, you're my sister. And I look at that and I say, but if my blood sister did me like that, what would you do? So I'm really cautious about really letting people get real close to me, because if my own blood did it, I don't know about the other. So I'm going to give Robin some grace. She's going to have to, decide whatever she wants to do. But sometimes people who we're close to were close for that moment. And maybe they're not ready to go with us on the next journey. Or maybe Robin's in her feelings and she just don't want all the attention on Amy, and TJ.
Right.
Maybe that's what it is. But whatever it is,
it's about them.
Whatever it is, it's Robin and her wife's choice. It's their choice. And they're going to have to suffer and accept not suffer, but they're going to have to accept the consequences after, once those photos are printed, the wedding day is over, and the next segment and journey of their life begin. And then she's going to have that conversation with Amy if she chooses to after that, because that's something that's going to be really hard for Amy if Amy really wanted to attend. But I wish all of them well. But it just makes me think, when we say somebody who's really close to us, are they really close? Because if blood would do it to you, what will the next person does who's not blood?
Ooh. KG, and I saw your thing the other day. Very beautiful picture. And I hear what you're saying, but if Amy never told Robin knew. Robin knew. I was following this story very closely. Robin knew. A lot of people in the office knew that what they was doing. Because I think sometimes after a while these people get sloppy and they get comfortable. And I think they were sloppy and they were comfortable because many others in that office was doing it too. Remember Neil's Long's fiance, and he got caught up in a whole rendezvous at the workplace or whatever the case may be. They also said there were a ton of others. So part of his being upset was that there were a ton of others engaging in the same behavior. But you know what? Getting caught is getting caught. And they was mad because a situation prior to her fiance getting caught, another person got caught and they didn't out them the way that he was outed. So that was part of the conversation too. So I think that there's so much going on, but it's once the person, once everything becomes public, now everybody like, oh my God, oh my God, but you've been new.
But Diva, excuse me, Diva, that wasn't the case. Like Robin knew early on, like in 2020, and told Amy and TJ,
I just said that.
Like y'all doing this, y'all need to cut it out. Y'all need to stop it. If this is what I'm hearing is what's doing, and they all said no, we not doing what you're hearing that we're doing.
Right, but right, she been new, but she was still friends with Amy.
Yep. She was.
You knew all them years, but then once the public, you want to go highbrow, like, oh my God, yes.
Did you? I've never heard Robin say that they was, friends like sisters and all this. Like I only heard it from Amy. Do you have something where Robin said that?
No, I do not. I said that already. I do not. But what all I'm saying is that she knew about what Amy was doing, and she was still friends with her. And it wasn't until the whole thing blew up in the public eye and, she went to the execs or whatever, all of a sudden, like now the cutoff was there. But I got to get these other people in because I'm way over time. E, really quickly, because then I got 3 people after you. What are your thoughts?
Well, perhaps Robin was so cordial because they worked in the same workplace. It was just for a good work environment. But everything has an expiration date. Everything. In my opinion, it's best to let things go while the love is still beautiful. Holding on to friendships past the expiration date is a recipe for disaster. Robin is keeping it quiet because it ain't nothing to see here. We just got finished talking about church. Perhaps Robin has some type of discernment and said, no, I cannot build my new marriage around no hoes and Oreo cookies. I don't know why Amy thought that she would get an invite. Robin can't have Amy around all those married guests, and I would hate to fathom that they had the ceremony in a church. Can you just imagine, Diva? I mean, Moses and Abigail, Jesus and Eve, like Adam, help us all here. Like, what is going on? Amy ain't nobody's friend. And so when we keep using that word friend, Amy's nobody's friend. Amy's first husband tried to be a friend to her, and Amy couldn't stay off of all these men, okay, and be a friend to him. So for all we know, Amy and Robin might have messed around in the past, allegedly. Who knows? We don't know what kind of friend Amy was to Robin behind closed doors that will warrant Robin to treat her this way now if they were so close. What we do know is Amy is unethical, and Robin needs to be around upstanding folks like Sunny Hostin and Joy Behar. These are married women. Not to mention all the executives from the TV network will be at Robin's wedding. So can you imagine how awkward this is? Nobody wants to see Amy around that. Like Robin mentioned in the chat, the moderator, we don't need that type of attention on such a positive day because we're trying to bring positive affirmations to this particular day because weddings equals new chapters, right? So this is my closing sentence. I just think on behalf of Robin, Amy, thank you for your time. Thank you for coming to the mammogram, but best wishes. Life goes on. And you and TJ, if you still feel that great about Robin, you can shop from the wedding registry and send your gift. But if not, go to Starbucks and get a Frappuccino and enjoy the rest of your day. Nia Long's ex, he can't come either, so Amy will be fine. Thank you.
Thank you, E. Julius, you're up.
So I followed the story on another channel, and it was from Tessa Tales, and she read countless articles when Robin first came aware. You know, she was being that sister, that friend, and told Amy, especially, and TJ, y'all need to cut this mess out. And they were like, no. And I think that was the breaking point for Robin. I'm like, and she was like, you know what? I'm done. You do what you want, but I'm not going to continue to associate with you and deal with this embarrassment.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that she was serious without really saying like she was done, but her actions are showing it, it goes to show that their association ran its course forever ago. Like that recent incident was just like the incident that broke the camel's back.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I don't want that around me. No, you ain't coming to my big day. Girl, bye.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Thank you.
you know?
Mm-hmm. Dustin, your thoughts?
My thoughts are this, Steve. I don't blame Robin Roberts. I think that she's doing her best to separate Amy Robach and TJ Holmes. I think this will be the best thing to do after having that little mishap on GMA. Good Morning America 3. I think that's the best thing to do, especially when we all know that they're all going to be there. Everybody from the network's going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I can almost bet you that. So I think Robin and her wife will do what they need to do.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I hear y'all. I'm hearing y'all. I'm trying to connect. I'm half connecting. Denzel.
Yeah, I understand what you saying, Diva. And, everybody.
Uh-huh.
You know, if if she told them to stop and they
Mm-hmm.
didn't stop, I mean, I don't blame her. And then especially if you have a friend that is allegedly going around, being a home wrecker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I couldn't be friends with that person because it's like, okay, well, you sneaky, you doing stuff you don't got no business.
Mm-hmm.
No, no, I mean anybody. I mean, some people will feel that way. Like, oh, okay, so you're gonna do that? Oh, okay, I can't trust you. So the thing is, I don't think she was really Robin's friend.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. But look, if I had a friend and I found out that they did something like that, I can't be their friend no more because for one thing, I can't, I don't want that type of spirit. I don't want that evil spirit around me.
Mm-hmm.
No, so yeah, I'll say, you know what? God bless you. God bless you. I hope you do well, but I can't be your friend no more. That stuff like that. That I don't. That's sneaky. I don't like sneaky people. I
Mm-hmm.
just don't. I hate a liar and I hate a fake person. So I couldn't. I would say I'm done, and that's it. Diva. So yeah, I I understand what Robin. I don't blame Robin for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I would do the same thing. I would do the same thing. I would say bye. That's
Mm-hmm.
it, Diva.
I gotta let it marinate in my soul.
Yeah,
Because you know what happens. You know what happens. Let me say this. When you got a person that knows that they can tell you their truth and there's going to be no judgment, they will always tell you the truth, right? They could be free around you. And none of us are perfect. And y'all know over here, I can't get with no darn home record. Y'all know that. But at the same time, I do know that we all do stuff. And one thing about, just me and my group of friends or whatever, we tell the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And then we move on from that truth. Now, that don't mean, because we tell each other the truth, that don't mean we all sit there and condone it. No, we rebuke each other like, girl, that was dead wrong, or you need to go apologize to someone.
Exactly. You hold them accountable.
You hold them accountable.
We hold each other accountable.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And so I just give people the freedom in my life. Be who you are. I mean, you could tell me whatever. I got friends that'll tell me the G story, others tell me the PG, others tells me the X-rated story. It is what it is. I accept all of them for who they are and what they are. And, and even when they make whatever, maybe the world calls it a mistake, I'm not about to just cut you off because, the world doesn't agree with that. Because that's why I'm here. I'm your friend.
Can I ask you something real quick,
Give
Diva?
me 1 second, though.
I'm sorry, Diva.
And I'm your soft landing place, so to speak. Like, you can always come land over here. Give it to me 100, and we're going to get past this. And
we're going to work it out. We're going to figure it out.
We're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out. So my thing is, I don't agree with what Amy and TJ were doing, but both of their spouses, and even the wife that says she thought they was working it out. A lot of times, we don't want to pull our head out the sand. And she knew who her husband was. And I know it's easier to tell the public, because you want this public on your side and you want the sympathy and all of that, the wife in distress and all that. And I'm not trying to minimize her situation, but I'm thinking 90% of the time, and I'm gonna lean closer towards 100. We knew what this person was, what they was doing, and we knew something was off. At some point, I'm not saying the whole time, but at some point. So they was working something out for a reason. So you already knew he did something because y'all was working through stuff and y'all was going through, counseling or whatever the case may be. And then he had his previous history. And just because somebody has a history don't mean they're going to keep repeating it. But he was messy. And I think she knew about, like she said, the wife said she knew about the other girl in the office. She didn't know about Amy. So he had, he was messy, but I'm going to move forward. And I hear what you're saying. And this part I do agree with wholeheartedly. I agree with wholeheartedly that you don't want mess at your special day. I'm connecting with that. That piece I'm connecting with y'all. The other piece, I got to let it marinate overnight and see how I feel when I wake up in the morning.
Can I ask you something real quick, Diva?
Before we go,
mad overtime.
Yeah, it's going to be very quick.
We go. I need you to be that good friend on the other side. Amy should also know all the little pieces that's going on here.
Gotcha.
When you that good a friend, you say, I don't want to come into that space and be any kind of a distraction.
On your day.
On your day.
I'm connected.
When you get back, we're going to go out and we're going to celebrate. That's what a good friend does. Get out of the way. Don't become a distraction.
I'm connecting with that. Wholeheartedly, I am. Okay. I just gotta get on the page with the rest though. But I'm halfway on the train. I got a foot on the train. Okay, and I got a foot off. But that piece, Felicia, that piece wholeheartedly I am connected with. Okay. Because it would end up being the distraction if there's still a lot of smoke about TJ and Amy. Denzel, really quickly.
Yeah, because I know you overtime.
Yes.
I understand. But if your friend keeps doing that, will you still be their friend even though they keep doing sneaky stuff like that?
Well, here's the thing. I'll say real quickly, Denzel, sin is sin, right? And so, like, but we as humans, we label sin. And all I could say is I got some friends that did some things.
Okay.
But can I tell you that there's still good people that maybe fell short in that particular area. So yeah, I will always be their friend. You know, I got friends, and not just one. I got friends that have children, and the baby daddy was married.
Oh.
Okay? And so listen, and you know, like if you go back in my channel, I ain't got no love for no side chick. But the thing is, though, I understand how some of them fall into those particular situations. And don't get me wrong, I do not agree. I understand how they fell into those situations. But the me in the friendship, because everybody brings a different piece to these friendships, especially when it's a friendship circle. The me in that piece is, don't find yourself in that situation again, because it's not only messing up you, it messes up the child in the situation too. But did I cut them off because that happened? No.
No.
But did I disagree with the mess? Wholeheartedly.
Yes.
But
and let them know.
No.
And let them know.
And let them know.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Did I cut them off? No. No.
I understand. I understand.
I got a whole friend, lover to death, was chasing. I'm talking NBA players, chasing them down. But she wasn't just chasing; they was chasing her down too. And I just said, girl, that's you walking down the wrong road, because you know what it is. But people fool in their mind, in their head, that you're going to be the one. And people will roll the dice like they play lotto with some of these relationships, like they about to be that chick.
Yeah.
But you know, still love her to this day. And I mean, that thing, them players broke her heart in pieces.
But that's because you know the difference between friends and associates too, Diva.
Yeah, but you know what though? We went over there, and every time it happened, I went over there. You could cry on my shoulder. Here go the tissue. And it
I used to say, I came there with my broom to sweep you all up together.
Come on now. One literally,
out the carpet.
They did it when I had my issues too. One literally,
right.
We had to go over there and take the food and the spoon and put it in her mouth because she just wasn't eating.
Wow.
Yeah.
So no. I've
done that too.
No. If you my dog,
yeah, you got
I'm down. Dog to the end. Unless you do something to
I
my
got
family
you.
member. I got you though. But listen, guys, y'all got me in overtime. Listen, we out of here. I love y'all. Much love. And listen, you know, Mr. Nate and my mama, they in the church, they doing something. So y'all just I'm just saying, just go there and watch the video again if y'all want to, okay?
All right.
I think that was Mr. Nate right there that was actually holding the mic. I think that was Mr. Nate.
I feel that way too, don't you though? I really feel that way too. But y'all know I'll put the description in the video. Okay, that was a whole hot mess. I love y'all guys. Good night. See y'all next time.
Love you,
Bye.
Diva. Love you, Diva. Love y'all.
All right,
y'all have a blessed night.
Love you back. Listen.
Bye.
Listen, y'all. Juice Radio has a channel. Go over there, like, subscribe, honey, because she gave us a message tonight. Y'all better come on now. All right. Amen.
She gave us the good word.
She did. Amen.
Yeah, good night, y'all.
Love you, Diva. Love y'all. You have a blessed night.